Welcome, guys. Today we are day 2 of the theatre, and I'm glad to show that the progression of the work is going well. Today we're going to talk about two things. One is why is filtration very important in theatres, and what type of filters you got. Why do we use HEPA filters, and what are the mechanisms of HEPA filters? And number two is what is laminar flow. So when we got air, so when we're sitting outside, especially as you know that we're talking about why a operation theatre would cost close to 1 crore when we're making them. It's all about your life has to be free of infection when we operate. That's more important. So let's talk about this. So what are the types of filters? Let's think that you're sitting outside in a dusty environment, you have a fan. You get the dust on your face. How can you filter this? Okay, let's talk about, are we in an air-conditioned room? Are we getting a fresh air? Yes, you might think so. And is that bacteria-free or is it virus-free? We all know that coronavirus, when that virus is coming through air conditioning, is it transmitted from one place to another? Yeah, that's a very big question. We know that a lot of airlines has been screened to put high efficiency particle filtration HEPA filters in them to avoid cross-infection being filtered. So let's talk about different types of filters. What is called mechanical filters. What we do is basically papers that can filter the particles away from it. It can only do up to 20 microns. That means the viruses and bacteria can still come through. And what about the other ones called HEPA, high efficiency particle filters are there. So, and the other ones are activated carbon particles are there. So let's talk about HEPA filters. When they get filtered outside, they filter multiples of 5, 10, 20. So I have been guided. This is a gentleman who's actually doing the high-end theaters for us here. He's got a lot of experience, more than 2 decades of experience, and we are just concentrating on the main theater here. So I'm glad to say that there is a good progression of the theater that was done all the way within 1 day, and we are on the stage 2 of getting the HEPA filters here. So let's go through that. That's where the air comes through and then goes through different chambers on this area. So this HEPA filters. So once it's been filtered on the outside, it comes to a stage where it's screened up to how many microns?
20 microns, 10 microns and 5 microns.
That's done outside unit. Yeah, after that it's pumped through this one.
0.3 microns.
So it's 0.3 microns, that no viruses.
Here will filters here 0.3 micron.
0.3 micron filters will be there. So that will actually prevent any bacteria or viruses coming through when we are actually operating on the table here. So that's more important, and that's a filter. So basically you see that this is a big pipe that's coming out, and then it filters, the air comes through the 3 chambers, and it's being pumped through these particular areas, and then filters all those 0.3 microns, and that means no bacteria. So that then what happens is the air just gets pumped onto the area where you're operating. So that means, where does the return flow goes? I am breathing, I got some bacteria potentially, or the other people are there that can have, and it has to be flushed in such a way and has to return back. So we're going to, this is the return chamber, and takes all these back through the system outside. So if you look at it, so it's got 4 quadrants, 1, 2, and then 3 and 4. So all those 4 areas, all the walls, what happens is when it comes through, so the air gets pumped from there, it comes all the way, and then it goes through this, all that goes up and then goes all the way down. So that's called laminar flow. It's very important that we know the air is filtered outside, air is filtered inside, and then whatever the leftover air gets pumped back outside rather than staying within the room. And then I don't know how many times in a minute, how many times the air circulates in this big room.
Yes, sir.
In a minute, how many times the air gets pushed out from the laminar flow?
40 air changes per feet per minute.
Per minute, 40
cubic
air
feet
changes.
Per minute, 40 air changes.
48.
Cubic feet per minute, 40 air changes.
40 air changes. So it's very important that 40 air changes per minute per cubic feet. Cubic feet. That's very good. That means you know that you're breathing very fresh air. And it's very expensive to do that at home. So activated carbon and HEPA filters are the two superior ways of filtering any air. And then we use HEPA filters in this area. Thank you very much.